So I'm fairly good at predicting what Peaches is going to use for his question of the day for To Peach Their Own, because I know how he finds them. And I'm guessing today he'll be all over this one because it's right up his alley. What's a saying that you hate? Because Peaches, I don't know if you've listened to him before, I would assume. But there are a lot of sayings that drive Peaches up the wall. Like, when I saw this question pop up, I'm like, are there any that I really can't stand? And there have to be. I just can't think of them right now. So I figured we'd go through some of the responses and see whether I agree or disagree on these sayings. But yeah, I'm sure Peaches will have a lot to say about this one. He's got a variety of phrases that just make him nuts. All right. I don't want to hear excuses. All right. That one, I think it depends on the situation. There can be situations where there's a valid excuse for something. But if you just got somebody who's always putting the blame on everybody else and always has an excuse for everything, can't accept responsibility, that, drives me way more nuts than the phrase, I don't want to hear excuses. Now, if you feel like you have an excuse and someone says that to you, that's going to make you a little bit crazy. Because, yeah, there might be something that needs to be said. But, again, often enough, I've dealt with people over the years who, it's always everybody else's fault. Won't take any responsibility themselves. And that makes me nuts. Way worse than that phrase. What else do we got here? Okay, this one does drive me crazy. Yep. Everything happens for a reason. Somebody always tells you that when something like really horrible's happened. And, great if you can brush things off through that statement. Maybe, you believe everything happens for a reason. I think there's a lot of random and chaotic stuff that happens. And there are some things that happen that go, well, if there's a reason for that, it's got to be a pretty terrible one. So just because everything happens for a reason doesn't mean that's something you need to say. All right? Don't remind me. Yeah, not a fan of that one. So, all right, it only took 2 for me to find one that I did not like. All right, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Y'all need to learn how to take a break. Y'all need to learn how to relax a bit. Not learn. I need to learn how to speak a bit. But yeah, maybe there were times in my life where I was all jacked up on work. Yeah, I'm getting things done. All I do is work. I was working 2 jobs, driving a long way to both of them. Like, I'm doing what I need to do I pretty much was doing what I needed to do in order to pay the bills, but it was certainly nothing to be proud of. Should be able to work even though it's too long, a 40-hour week, and then have some time to relax. Nothing wrong with relaxing, kicking back. I will encourage that to the end of time. I have been thoroughly enjoying relaxing time. Now, there are times when I start feeling a little bit guilty about it. Like, dude, get out there and deal with those leaves. But, hey, I'm getting to be older. Got to kick back in the recliner on a, Sunday and just fall asleep at like noon for a few hours. Okay, I do hate this one. That's the way we've always done things. That's a radio mantra. You don't know how many times I've heard that from old managers. That's the way it's always been done. Oh, well, maybe that's why it sucks. Maybe we should try something new. That's the way it's always been done is the ultimate curse of radio. And anybody who's worked in the business has heard that one from somebody. Jeez. Okay, what else do we have here? Just be positive. Some people don't like to hear that because they're very negative all the time and they have a hard time with it. The more positive you can stay, the better your life is going to be. And it can be tough. Trust me. I've gone through some times when I've felt insanely negative, and I had a good excuse for feeling negative. No excuses. No, I think I was justified in feeling very negative. But when you flip it around and get yourself into a positive mind state, focus on the good things, you're going to have a better time. If you just wander this planet in a negative state, your life's going to suck. So I don't mind, just be positive. Now, if somebody said it after some kind of horrible event, they're like, everything happens for a reason, just be positive. Then you might have a reason to get mad. But, if somebody's just kind of cranky in general, and you're like, dude, you just need to cheer up a little bit. Not somebody dealing with like depression, all right? That's something else that needs to be potentially dealt with by a professional. But somebody who's just, cranky, they're just always cranky. Yeah, stop it. Just be positive. All right, let's see here. I tell it like it is, or I'm a straight shooter. Yeah, sometimes you don't need to do that, okay? Because telling it like it is your opinion, and you might be cranky, and your thoughts might not be valid. Just because you feel like you're telling it like it is doesn't mean that you're making any improvements on the world by spewing your thoughts out there. I see a lot of telling it like it is on social media, and it's like, well, none of that is true. You clearly believe it, but you're potentially, skewing people's like normal thought process. You're scrambling their brains with your telling it like it is. All right, knock it off. Okay, this thread's starting to annoy me. There are a lot of sayings that I don't like. Okay, let's see here. Stop being angry. It solves nothing. Well, okay, there are times when being angry is justified, like we talked about earlier. But, let's see, this person says, doesn't mean my feelings of anger should be invalidated. Sometimes it's healthy to let out your emotions and feel angry rather than bottling it up. Now I have poor emotion management. Thanks, Mom and Dad. It depends what you're being angry about. Some people get angry about stupid things and they need to be told, hey, maybe you need to talk to a professional. You're angry about the dumbest crap all the time. Shut up. You're driving everybody crazy. Anger spreads. You might have somebody who's totally calm and you're just spreading your anger at them. Next thing you know, they're mad. Yeah. All right. I'm going to close this thread because it's making me annoyed. I was just reading some online complaints. That's what online's all about nowadays. Now, somebody was talking about the Red Fang album Arrows and how they don't like the sound of it, don't like the production. Said, I love this album. It's an enjoyable throwback to some serious Melvins adjacent, garagey, stoner rock. But the production is garbage, and I've never seen an adequate explanation. 2 explanations for this situation when a band has an album with terrible production. 1, bad luck, or couldn't afford, to get in and record at a quality studio. Or 2, they did it deliberately because they think their fan base doesn't want anything that sounds super polished. There have been a number of bands over the years that I love the songs and I just go, man, I wish that this was produced in a more polished way. And I get it. That's not cool to some scenes. But bad production or lo-fi, maybe it depends. Like Black Moth Super Rainbow, deliberately lo-fi, the production works. But, when you're talking about like sludge bands or black metal bands, sometimes it just sounds terrible, especially black metal bands. Black metal bands, they like turn the reverb up on everything, make it sound like, they recorded in a cave, and it just sounds terrible. The best black metal albums I've heard are pretty well produced. They don't have that reverb up on everything echo going on like Most of the Emperor albums, the later ones, they sound really good. Mayhem's Grand Declaration of War is really good. You start getting into bands like Dimmu Borgir or Behemoth, which I guess Behemoth is black metal. I'm sure the black metal community would be like, Behemoth. But I like the production on those. They sound really good. You listen to old Mayhem, it's garbage. I can't even sit through it. Same goes for Old Emperor. At least the Old Emperor songs, the actual songs themselves are better. I don't know. Mayhem, I think those old songs, people just listen to it because of, all the chaos that surrounded that band. But yeah, in the sludge world, those old Elder albums, I love the songs. I just wish that the production was a little bit better, Sometimes if you don't have, the bass guitar dialed in right for the studio, if you have a lot of distortion on it, I don't know, it just doesn't mix well or something. But, yeah, I would encourage you as a band to make your sound as polished as possible. I know for, punk bands, oh, no, we got to have that dirty garage sound. No, you don't have to. More people will like your music if you polish it up a bit. Get into a studio where they can make it sound nice and slick. It's the same songs. They'll just be more appealing to the ears of the average person. Gritty sound, gritty, dirty production. I can get into it. But the masses, they're not going to easily acclimate to those kind of sounds. So it's my tip for you today, local bands. In the studio, as polished as possible. Sorry, yeah. Victor's a poser, man. Yeah, I know. Well, it's about breakfast time at the time I'm doing this live and recording this show. Let's talk about eating boogers. Some people might have just flipped the radio station immediately. Okay. Well, there's a video going around of former Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Who's he playing for now? The Jets? Well, anyway, I talk often enough about how there are cameras everywhere. If you're playing in a professional football game, there are definitely cameras on you pretty much at all times, especially if you're the quarterback. Now, I watched the video where people are claiming that Aaron Rodgers ate his boogers. He says, I've actually never eaten my boogers. That's one thing I'm very proud of. So I watched the video. Now, the picking the nose part, I don't know if I'd call that picking his nose. Looks kind of like he's got an itch or something. But then he does kind of look like he put something in his mouth, which is weird. But I don't know if I'd break this down to being booger eating, all right? Aaron Rodgers has a beard and a mustache. If anything, it looks like he might have some kind of food stuck in his mustache, close to his nose, and he pulled the little crumb out. Maybe it was a piece of cookie. A little bit of cheese. I don't know. But I don't think it was boogers. Maybe, I don't know. I think likely a piece of cheese seems to be the best guess. All right, guys, he probably just had an itch. All right, but it's funny to think about him, picking out a little bit of leftover and just having a little snack on the sidelines there. Sometimes you don't want to be famous. A lot of people, they make online content, things like that. I want to be a star. Them people are always watching you. And if you do something weird, people are going to accuse you of eating boogers. All right? Just keep that in mind as you're trying to make that viral content. All right, time for my obligatory daily reminder that you need to get out and vote. Peaches said yesterday he was getting annoyed with people saying get out and vote. Oh, I can't stand hearing it. Shut up and get out and vote. I'm going to say it every day until the election, but we've only got 1 week to go, so you're not going to hear about it that many more times from me. But you can go early vote right now. Now, I think early voting might end soon. I want to say potentially on the 1st. Don't quote me on that. Call up your local elections office to find out. But in the meantime, get your ID, get your proof of residency, some type of utility bill. You can register to vote at the polls. And if you want to early vote, you can do so now. Otherwise, day of, bring that stuff with you to your polling place. And, get your vote going on. All right? We got the presidential election, but of course, lots of local initiatives, lots of local races. So, it's very important that you make your voice heard. Don't let anybody tell you my vote doesn't matter. It absolutely does. Without question, your vote matters. Don't let people... That's why so many people don't vote. They've been convinced by people that don't want them to vote that their vote doesn't matter. If everybody voted who was eligible, who knows what would happen when it comes to our elections. But there's so many people that have just been... And I've been there. I've felt like my vote doesn't matter before. But I've taken a look at the big picture, and ultimately... If everyone who thinks that way was to go, oh, you know what? I'm going to get out and vote anyway. Again, who knows what the results would be like. So let's try to change the mentality, all right? And it's certainly very important to vote in our local elections, all right? Those are only based right here in East Idaho or statewide. Your vote absolutely counts. So get registered, get out and vote. And yes, in a week, I'll stop saying that, okay? Because then it'll be over. But until then, please get out and vote. Ozzy, Bark at the Moon, Halloween music brought to you by our friends at No Limit Guitar Company, celebrating their 6-year anniversary. By the way, Halloween Day, nothing but Halloween tunes. I got it all scheduled yesterday. It's looking good. You're looking for the ultimate soundtrack for your Halloween holiday, we've got you covered all day. So make sure to tune in and check it out. I hope you enjoy it. All right. Looking around online. Folks being asked, what's an event you will never attend? All right. The first one that comes to mind for me is like a political rally. Ugh. Especially... for certain candidates. I can't imagine going and listening to them just babble on and on. Oh, what a nightmare. That's not the most popular answer on this thread. The most popular answer would be New Year's Eve in Times Square. Yeah, if you got to wear a diaper to go to an event, that's no good. All right? I think we talked about New Year's Eve in Times Square last week. It just does not look pleasant. The weather's garbage. It's all cold. You're standing around for hours. The music is awful. And you have to wear a diaper. And it probably takes forever to get out of there. I tell you what, in front of my couch, watching that ball drop, that's where it's at. Can't imagine being out there in person. That would just be, terrible. What else do we have here? Timeshare presentation. All right, no matter how enticing the free vacation sounds, I refuse to sit through hours of high-pressure sales tactics while some overly friendly rep tries to convince me I need a lifetime vacation plan. I have sat through a timeshare presentation in Mexico, and I'd say it was worth it. They gave us a free meal. It was pretty delicious. It was a really good meal. And then got a bunch of free tickets to a whole bunch of different attractions and stuff like that. And we didn't have to buy the timeshare. They definitely put the pressure on for sales. They were good salespeople. But it did pay off. I don't know if I'd recommend sitting through them always, because I've read a lot of horror stories online about things not paying off. But, I mean, it did work for me. I don't know if I'd do it again, but, the kids had fun due to some of the things we got tickets for, so I've sat through worse, Think back to school. A full day of school? Timeshare wasn't that long. High school reunion. I think I would go to a high school reunion. I think. Next year would be my 25th anniversary of graduating from high school. I wonder if they're going to do one. They've never done one, as far as I know. They were going to do one 1 year, and I think I might have helped ruin the event because I was trashing on it online. They were going to hold it at the country club, and I'm like, that's not where my crew hangs. You know, nobody from high school that I went to going to be hanging out at the country club. Come on, we were all the poor kids. Come on now. Country club, get out of here with that. But if they held the high school reunion now, would I don't know, would I have to dress nice? When I think of the country club, it seems like you got to wear golf clothes, you know? I don't like rolling into a place where I need to dress that way. I don't want to have to wear a suit to high school reunion, all right? I think we should roll in looking how we do on a normal day-to-day basis, which I dress the same way I did in high school. So even at work, I'm still dressed just like I was back in high school. What else do we have here? Tupperware party. They don't have those anymore. Do they? Maybe. I mean, if they did, I wouldn't go. Discount plastic dishes. You can pick those up anywhere nowadays. You don't need to go to a party for it. Destination wedding. Well, that would depend if the bride and groom were going to pay. If I had to pay, nope. Not happening because I can't afford it. If I was rich, yeah, I'd go. But I'm a radio guy. There are 3 people making good money in radio. This guy ain't one of them. Just a regular old radio guy right here. Howard Stern's still taking all of the money. Freak News powered by Grease Monkey, voted Idaho's best oil change. All right, let's go. Let's party. Let's see here. Did you take part in a TikTok viral check fraud scheme? I gotta tell you, anybody who would take advantage of an ATM scam because they saw it on TikTok, you gotta know you're going to jail, right? You can't just steal money from an ATM just because it's a glitch. Apparently what was going on, somebody posted a TikTok video showing that if you wrote a check to yourself and put it into a Chase Bank ATM and then immediately withdraw the funds, you could get the cash before the check bounced. And so, I mean, there was one guy who deposited a $335,000 check and apparently got $291,000 back in cash. How much money do they put in these ATM machines? Anyway, yeah, all these people are in a lot of trouble because that is theft. Just because you see something online doesn't mean you can do it, okay? The bank is also demanding the defendants cover their legal fees and other expenses relating to the lawsuits. Yeah, looks like a lot of people in a little bit of trouble there. I mean, it should be common sense that if you steal money from an ATM, it's a crime, right? I don't know. People be dumb. People be dumb. Japan's bullet train is celebrating its 60-year anniversary. Yeah, for 60 years in Japan, you could take a high-speed train that goes upwards of 200 miles an hour to get where you need to be. It's awesome. Why don't we have this here? Again, this is 60 years old, and we're still stuck doing things the old-fashioned way. Can you imagine if we had bullet train lines all over the country? It'd be amazing. It'd be so great. You know, I'm right now trying to budget out just to be able to go see a concert in Vegas, and it's stressing me out because, you know, gas money, that's expensive. happen to be there on the weekend when hotels are the most expensive that I've ever seen them. So annoying. Should have plotted differently to go to this particular tour. Plenty of other cities I would have much rather drove to, Denver or Phoenix or something. If I had known every person who's into cars was going to be in Vegas that weekend for the SEMA show. Such an idiot. But, we got the concert tickets, so we got to go deal with it. Guess we'll just eat it on a crappy hotel. Nothing like having to pay tons of money for a terrible hotel. I hate that. Anyway, I need a bullet train. I need a bullet train that goes to the other side of the country, okay? Would it be as aggravating as dealing with air travel? Probably. We'd have to deal with the same idiots here, trying to pack guns onto the bullet train, showing up at security with, fake grenades and this and that. And that's probably why we don't have a bullet train. The airline industry's, hassle enough, and I'm guessing passengers have just ruined it for us. Anyway, congrats to Japan on the 60-year anniversary. Speaking of things that are expensive, housing in many areas of California. We don't got it so bad when you look at places like San Jose. Somebody's offering up a spot under the stairs, $250 a month. They also would like you to do some light chores. This is essentially living like Harry Potter. I'm looking at a picture of it here. There's not even a door. They have like a shower curtain that covers up the bottom of the stairs. Perhaps you could put a cot there and nothing else. $250. And you got to do chores. This is a 3 by 10 foot area. And it's real. And sadly, someone will probably rent it. I don't know, the type of person who'd be willing to live under the stairs. Do you want him as a roommate? I've got an under the stairs space, and it's even got carpet. It's nice. And a door. I do need extra money. Things are real tight. Anybody know anyone who's not a complete psychopath who'd want to live under my stairs? I'll go the same rate, $250. But you can even use the basement living room, which has a TV, and there's a PlayStation 3 in there. It's not a PlayStation 4 or 5, but you can game. There's a treadmill that I never use. I think $250 a month. I'm probably being too nice if I allow the usage of the basement living room. I got to up the rate here. You are still living under the stairs, but hey, there's a lot of other space there. But then the weirdos are going to bring other weirdos over. That's one of the reasons I don't have a roommate. Because I don't know what friends somebody might bring to my house, all right? I'll just sit there and just eat the mortgage. Sucks, but got to do what you got to do, right? Freak News powered by Grease Monkey. Voted Idaho's best oil change. We'll be right back. For whatever reason, the Midwest never screams farms to me. And I certainly don't think of farms when I think of Minnesota. Bloomington. Bloomington is where my sister lives. It's where my grandparents lived, where my mom was born and lived. And I don't remember ever seeing a farm in Bloomington. Bloomington is like a suburb of Minneapolis. Minneapolis, a big major city, one of the biggest cities in the country. Apparently there are farms, and apparently sheep rustling, still a thing. If I see a sheep rustling story, I certainly think, okay, this is going to be taking place out west. What, Montana, Idaho, Nevada? No, Bloomington, Minnesota. A woman was found walking down the street with a dog on a leash and a sheep on a leash. And officers seeing a sheep walking down the road were probably like me, what's going on here? So they pull over, hey, where'd you get the sheep? She's like, oh, I purchased it. And they're like, well, we recently had a guy down the road say that someone stepped over the fence, put a leash on a sheep, and then pulled them through the fence and took off. So, the sheep's okay. She had apparently also stole a bunny rabbit from somewhere. You know, we've had recent cattle rustling stories and this and that. It's just, I don't know. When I think of that, I think of the early 1900s, late 1800s. I think of Red Dead Redemption 2. Do you do any cattle rustling in that one? I know in the first Red Dead you do. You probably do. You'd think I'd remember, but anyway, just wanted to let you know, like many other stories I've talked about recently, there are cameras everywhere. Everywhere, okay? You're not going to be able to get away with stealing sheep inside of a city, all right? Someone's going to have you on camera. People should just give up on any of these type of crimes that could involve a neighbor's camera catching you. And, I mean, what's she going to do? Sell the sheep, or did she just really want a sheep? Well, according to the article, sheep cost about $500, this particular kind of sheep, so you just got to save up, you know? Get a job. What's up? It's Victor Wilt, and I would just like to remind everybody to try to keep some sanity for the next week. It's getting wild out there. People are getting really dumb. Did we talk about people burning mailboxes and ballot boxes yesterday? I think we did. In Oregon, in the Portland area, there was a ballot box lit on fire. According to my daughter, there was also one in Vancouver, Washington. I thought they were the same, but she says they were two different ones. Either way, at least one ballot box burned in the Portland, Oregon, Vancouver, Washington area. And then in Phoenix, somebody lit a mailbox on fire. Now I was watching a video of someone getting dragged out of an elections office because they were encouraging people to stay in the early voting line just over and over and block the line to discourage people from voting. Like, just let people get in, make their vote, and do it yourself and move along with your day. This should not be such an aggravating process. People have got to settle down a little bit. None of these activities are helping anything. You're just aggravating people. And, I mean, the charges you can face for doing something like burning a ballot drop-off box or burning a mailbox, it's serious charges. I don't know what the charges are for disrupting an election procedure by not letting people get in line, but I would imagine it's something. It's some kind of charge. Is an election worth going to jail over? Make your vote and get out, all right? Make your vote, go home. Sit here like the rest of us, wait for the results. And I should probably preemptively remind everybody to not get crazy regarding results. For one, we'll probably all end up being okay, right? So you hope. But number two, we're probably not going to know the results right away due to all of the, well, I almost said a word you're not supposed to say on the radio. We'll just say due to all the garbage that's going around with this election in general. You know, I think they're going to probably be counting and recounting. We probably won't know the results for at least a few days. I mean, I hope we just get them night of so we can move along with our lives, but I have a feeling based on how the last one went, it's going to be a stupid headache for a while afterwards. So try to stay calm, okay? Be rational with your friends, your family, your neighbors, fellow, humans on social media. Don't light anything on fire. Don't disrupt anything. Don't start any fights. Don't intimidate people. Don't show up wearing a bunch of stuff you're not supposed to, then rip your shirt off, stand there in your bra, swearing at election workers. Just chill out, people. What is going on in this country? People have lost it. They're completely unhinged. So be one of the good ones. Stay calm, stay rational, and It'll be over eventually. But was kind of fun watching the person get dragged out of this election office for disrupting the procedure. I like to see that. Annoying people getting dragged off and arrested. Sometimes you just need to learn a lesson. I'm not saying we should just start arresting annoying people, because I'm sure I'm annoying sometimes. Might be annoying you right now. Sorry. Got some friendly advice for you. Don't shop after drinking. I mean, especially like in public. You might end up as an embarrassment to your family and friends. But if you're just sitting at home, in this day and age, you can buy just about anything. From the comfort of your recliner or couch, fire up that phone, and just get to spending. Well, when you're all hammered, your judgment might be a little bit off. You might not be paying attention too well to what you're doing. You might end up buying 14 tickets to an Alabama football game. And it turns out you show up and it's an Alabama concert. I think I'd rather go to an Alabama concert than an Alabama football game. But what's going on here? This don't look like a football game. Was he hammered when he got there as well? Anyway, the people in the pictures here, his family members, look like they're having a pretty good time. So maybe it ended up being a pretty good thing. But yeah, shopping while hammered. You start getting those Amazon packages showing up, and you're like, wait a minute. I don't remember buying this. What is? Oh, man. You try to return it. Like, no returns on that item. Oh, come on. This thing was expensive. Well, unfortunately, certain types of items you have to keep. I won't elaborate. So, anyway, yeah, don't drink and shop. Christmas is on the way. Yeah, might make you more generous, though. Oh, we got a caller? Maybe they want to talk about drunk shopping. K-Bear, you're live on the show. Keep that in mind. Who's this?
Also, don't go watch a movie drunk. Especially in the theater.
Yeah, you could be very obnoxious if you're hammered at the movie theater. I've seen people do this. Sometimes your perception of a movie might not be the same, and stuff that's funny to you at the time might not be funny to everybody else, or things that annoy you about the movie, you might feel like saying something about it.
When you're drunk, everything's funny.
So, there might be something really tragic happening, and everybody in the theater's crying, and you're laughing, and you start yelling about how stupid the movie is. This movie sucks. Yeah. And next thing you know, somebody wants to get in a fight with you. And,
Yeah. Don't do that. Drunk, no.
Yeah. Pretty much if you're going to get drunk, you need to stay home and maybe have a babysitter. Put the cell phone down. In addition to not shopping on your phone, don't get on social media.
Or Facebook. Yeah, don't take a text or Facebook.
Yeah, no, just hide the phone from yourself and just, watch South Park or something. Play a video game. I don't know. Anything that doesn't involve bothering other people.
Yes. If you want to bother other people, just go to a bar.
There you go. Yeah, because the only way to tolerate drunk people is to be one of them. So, yeah. You have to go to the bar. You have to be around other drunk people. If you're going to be the only drunk, you need to, be home by yourself. You're just going to irritate everyone around you.
Yes.
All right, Jay, good to hear from you, man.
Okay, all right, bye.
Peace. K-Bear, what's happening?
Not a whole lot. How are you doing this morning, Victor?
I'm doing good. You're live on the air. Keep that in mind. And what's up?
Oh, I was just going to say, drunk shopping is a horrible idea. 2 years ago, I was doing some drunk shopping while sitting at a local pizza place, and I bought $1,400 worth of electric scooters. The next morning, not realizing what I had done, and looked at my bank statement, see how much I drank the night prior, and realized I'd bought 2 electric scooters.
Wow. Were you able to cancel the order?
No, I still have one of them. It's great.
All right. Well, hey, if you ended up with something fun, every once in a while it pays off.
Yeah, it does.
All right, man. Well, enjoy it while you can. Weather's about to change.
Right.
Right on. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Peace. I was just warning listeners, Jade, to not shop while drunk. You know, 'cause you never know what you're going to end up with. Caller just called.
Or do. Be like Christmas, but you don't remember.
Yeah, you know, packages just start showing up. You got to hope it's stuff that you like, you know, not stuff you thought was funny at the time.
I mean, Santa's red cheek, red nose, fat guy giving you stuff.
He does have the look of an alcoholic, doesn't he?
You could just be one of those. Be your own Santa. Red cheek, red nose. Maybe you're a fat guy, maybe you're not.
That's how Santa got all the presents. We figured it out. He's, you know, that just beat red nose. Santa been pounding whiskey for many, many generations, and he just fills up that bag one night. So, all right, here we go.
Where did all this stuff come from?
Boss man's in the house.
Where's he
Jay
at?
Davis. No, you, man. You coming in here telling me what to do all the time.
You said janitor wrong.
Well, you're that too. Trying to think if there's anything you could do for me. Let's see.
I got stuff for you to do.
No, I'm working on
You ready?
something. I'm still in the Christmas realm.
Yeah, just
I got
wait until we
people-
get into that country realm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
next. That's next.
Get the side talking going on.
I mean, that one should hopefully not be too bad. Hopefully. You know, Christmas hasn't been too rough.
Country Christmas.
All right. Now,
Yeah.
kind of, I feel like I might keel over. Oh, country Christmas. No! We actually went through some Christmas songs earlier. Peaches thought that the Eagles had dropped a new Christmas song, but they were just re-releasing, like pushing out, you know, the same song they've had out forever. I was like, is this new? And pulled it up, listened. I'm like, no, this isn't new. So got looking through my email because, you know, I don't delete anything.
Yep.
And there has been tons of Christmas music sent my way this last month, and it's all garbage. It's all
Sweet.
terrible.
You can add it to that new little feature that Josh and you were talking about.
I don't know if it's quite bad enough for that.
Because that one's going to be fun.
That one's going to be really fun. You know, it's nice when hanging out, listening to Christmas music, come across something dumb, and then we come up with a great feature idea. Yeah. A nice brainstorming session in my office that leads to great new bits on Classy. I wish I could come up with some good new bits for my show.
Well,
but
you could do the same on Caber.
guess we could, but then I could just play Christmas hits and be like, crank it or yank it. Here's All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. Are we going to throw it in the garbage or keep it?
The fun part's going to be coming from the classy guy, Josh.
Yeah.
And his opinion on it, because Christmas music is his favorite music of all time.
Yeah, it's his favorite.
And then Victor Wilt on the rock guy talking about the same Christmas tune.
Yeah, because some of the ones that he would find absolutely dreadful, I thought were hilarious. Like there's a John Denver one called Dad Don't Come Home Drunk for Christmas. And
Please don't make Mom cry.
have you heard this song?
Oh, yeah.
It was so funny.
That song is terrible. But man, I laugh at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad, you know, because people do deal with a drunk parent on Christmas and ruining Christmas for everybody passed out under the Christmas tree. But the song's funny.
Bob.
I don't believe that I've ever ruined Christmas. All right? I don't think so. But Josh doesn't even like Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer.
Oh, that was fantastic.
That's a classic, ain't it?
That was great.
I mean, I don't understand why Grandma gets killed by reindeer, who came up with this idea, but
You should have stayed in a rocker.
that's right. Maybe it was a terrible grandma. You know, it might have been a celebratory song.
She was getting drunk with Dad. Fell out under the Christmas tree.
Grandma passed out in the road because she was wasted on whiskey. She was up on the roof. Reindeer came down. Maybe I should start writing Christmas songs, Jade. Sad Christmas songs. I remember when I was a kid, I don't know who got it for me. Maybe I got it for myself, but there was a Tales from the Crypt Christmas album.
Oh, yeah?
With the Crypt Keeper singing Christmas songs.
You have to find that online.
Yeah, what?
Let's put that in the little bit with you and Josh.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of that till right now. Tales from the Crypt, Christmas Have yourself a scary little Christmas. This is the album right here. It's got songs like Juggle Bills, Christmas Rap, Deck the Halls with Parts of Charlie. We Wish You'd Bury the Misses. The language couldn't be too bad. Let's listen to a little We Wish You'd Bury the Misses.
All right, get ready for that dumb button.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, dear neighbor, it's the Smiths down the hill. Henry and Linda and the kids Jane and Bill. We hate to complain and to be such a pest, but this holiday season we have one request. We wish you'd bury the missus. We wish you'd bury the missus. We wish you'd bury the missus. She's been dead since last year.
This is good stuff.
We might have to put some of this in the Halloween tunes, actually.
It could work pretty good in the Halloween tunes. Or else, at least for the K-Bear Christmas library. I always said there's not a lot of good rock Christmas songs. Yeah, I'll have to send Josh some of that. That would work great. Is that too dark for classy? She's been dead since last year. Internet's making me feel kind of bad today. I thought this post would make me feel like I don't waste a lot of time, but I guess I do. But I wonder what it's like if these folks added up all the different games they play. The post I'm looking at is from the PS5 subreddit. What games do you have the most hours in? Because it keeps track of how long you've been playing games. And I have looked at these numbers before, done the math to figure out how many days of my life I've spent playing Red Dead Redemption 2 since it came out, about 6 years ago? 7 years ago? I don't remember. But it was one of the only games I played. So these folks are like, well, here are my top so-and-so. And they'll be like, all right, Elden Ring, I've put in 250 hours. Bloodborne, 250 hours. Predecessor, 220. So they'll come up with their top 5. I mean, I would only have one that would end up on my list with a lot of hours. I don't know, maybe if I looked at Super Meat Boy, that could be pretty bad for the last, decade. But so far, I think I've beat every single person I've seen on this list as far as one game. No, okay, there's a guy who said he put 5,000 hours into Destiny. All right. I think I'm at about 1,200 hours into Red Dead 2. Let's see, 1,200 divided by 24. No, maybe I'm not quite that, or maybe I am. Yeah. I mean, about 50 days of my life. I don't care either. It's such a good, relaxing time. It's my Zen moment. But I really thought that online I wouldn't look so bad compared to all of these other people. See, like, here's a guy who said, my friend has 52 days in Rocket League. People are like, wow. But then the next person's like, well, I got about 4,000 hours. And all I want to do is go home and play more Red Dead. I started playing it again. I have tons of other video games, and I always end up back in Red Dead. I played all the way through GTA 5 recently. All right, here's a guy with 3,127 hours in Ark Survival. Then he's got 900 hours in Hunter Call of the Wild, 562 hours in Gran Turismo 7. This guy's worse than me, all right? I don't feel too bad, but I still feel a little bad. Thank you again for tuning in to the Victor Welch Show. This program's a production of River. Why can't I say that? God.
Have to say Riverbend Media Group.
Riverbend Media Group. This program's a production of God. This program's a production of Riverbend Media Group. To contact the show or for more information, hit us up at riverbendmediagroup.com.